Hello and welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about another pharmaceutical stock that had a good day today. It's still going up. The market's still open. The stock is moving up, and the reason it moved up because again I made a couple of videos for different pharmaceutical stocks, and I love these stocks is because what happens is they have comprehensive pipelines on different drugs they're working on, and every time there's a move on that drug, and if you have that stock on your watch list, you'll be able to capture that and you'll be able to invest in it beforehand, right? For example, this stock started picking up yesterday, right? Yesterday night it started picking up. If you had it on your watch list, for example, and you know they have a comprehensive watch list, next time this happens and you get the news, for example, you could actually potentially put in the money when the stock opens the next day, right? And potentially make that money. But again, this is not a financial advice. I'm going to talk about the stock and what pipeline they have, what the market value is, who owns the majority of the ownership, like who owns majority of the stocks, right? Is it institutional banks hold it? Is it retail investors hold it? So we're going to talk about that as well. Before I get into the video, if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. I release it every day. The objective is find all these good stocks that we can invest in and potentially make money and build our wealth. So let's talk about that. So as I said, they have a comprehensive pipeline, and one of their drugs they're working on a tumor. It actually got FDA gave him a fast track designation for his lead therapy candidate. So FDA is fast tracking their everything has to be approved by the FDA on the clinical trials, and they fast tracked it for them. So this is the drugs that they're working on right now. And you could go to the website and see the drugs, names, etc. And then, keep it on your watch list. When you hear the news about that, you already know the next day the stock is going to have a good day. So you could potentially make money on that. Now, as far as the institutional banks, the ownership, institutional banks hold 55% of the stock. Their recent increased position are about 1.9 million. Only 14 of the institutional banks sold out of the position, but it's only 223,000, which is very minuscule in terms of what they purchased. And increased eight firms increased their position by 1.5 million, and sold out is only 17,000, right? So the total institutional holding, they have about 15 million shares of this company. It's 55% of the ownership. So that goes to show that how good, how much belief institutional banks have on the stock, right? So as far as the analysts from these four firms from institutional banks, considering this is a strong buy, they think the average price should be around $28. The lowest it could get to $18, and the highest it would go to $42. But we already seen the stock is way below 18 because these analysts sometimes they're not making, sometimes the considerations are month old, 2 months old. So you always got to take this as grain of salt. You can't really trade based on what the analyst is saying, but it's a good idea to know what what these institutional analysts are thinking, right? You could plus or minus 7%. And determine on that. So as far as the market cap, again, the company is not a very big company. It's 107 million is the market cap for that. 52 weeks high is about $16. They went high as $16, and the lowest it got to is $2.73, which happened only a few days ago. And we're gonna see that on my support levels on my chart. Average shares that are traded is about 98,000, and today they shared about 18 million. That's another indicator you could always watch for a stock that you watch it. You always see if the volume is going above the average, or you already know. And of course, you got to combine that with the chart and see if the chart is moving up as well. Then you can determine that the stock is going to have a good day, and you could potentially make some money. Again, not a financial advice, something that you could check on a high level if you're looking to play a hot play. As far as the cash flow is concerned, they're not profitable, right? I'm gonna put it out there for you guys. The numbers are there. There's no lie here. Negative 82 million is everything by 1,000. So you got to take 82,000 times 1,000 is 82 million. So negative 82 million is operational cash flow because they're working on a drug. They have a lot of expenses, so their operations is currently not making money. Negative 613,000 is their expenses, overall expenses for the company. With employee pay and all that good stuff, right? And the money they raised from the bonds and with the stocks and all, it's about 55 million. So their end cash position is about 145 million. This is from last 3 years. The cash flow they have on hand is about 145 million. Balance sheet. As far as the balance sheet is concerned, the total assets they own is about 226 million. Liabilities, they have about 102 million, and the total stockholders' equity is 123 million. So balance sheet looks fine. Cash flow doesn't look that good, which means that if they go haywire or they go bankrupt, how much cash they have on hand to liquidate. As far as the short interest is concerned, off exchange short interest, if you see, is 65%, which means that big dogs, people that average consumer percent. Now, with that being said, the short interest for regular people like you and I, they go ahead and use the like Webull or Thinkorswim or other platform. You can't do it on Robinhood. Short interest for that is about 9.24%, and they have about 13 days to cover about 1.5 million shares. So it's a little bit high on the short interest, which makes sense because at the end of the day, you would have to, mostly I'm 100% sure that most of this is shorted. Sometime, when you have a short interest that high, generally the stock does come down because as I said, right, these pharmaceutical stocks usually have the tendency of moving up when there's a news breaks out and then the stock going back again to the levels. The lowest level it ever got to is $2.73, which is, you see right here, it happened yesterday apparently, which is the lowest level it got to, stock ever got to, right? Everything indicating the stock is still moving up. Your histogram is way above zero. It's about 0.12, which means that when it start coming down, it's still gonna need a lot of volume to be sold to start coming down again. So I can still see the price fluctuating between these levels. And my brown line is my 48 period on my EMA. This is exponential moving average, which means that it's hitting the EMA 48 period, which means there's a possibility the stock is taking off a little further. But again, look, these is pharmaceutical stuff. Out of my experience, when they come out with the drug news, stock booms, and then the second day the stock start declining. I'll be interested. It'll be interesting to see what the after hours are going to do with the stock. Mostly, a lot of selling happens during the after hours, so we'll have to see, right? But again, the objective here is that whatever happened, right? You add to the watch list, you watch the comprehensive list they have on the drugs, and keep it on your watch list, right? Every time there's a news breaks out, you already know that the stock is going to have a good day and that you could potentially make some money on that. But again, none of this financial advice. This is just me bringing the information to you, and you could be the judge of your own investment. But always invest money that you can afford to lose, right? This is my recommendation. Don't put everything in one stock ever. Meaning, like, get few shares, see how the stock does, and then get the rest of it. Don't just buy like $1,000 worth of shares and then you end up losing 500 from the value, and then you have to wait at least a couple of months to regain that amount. That's my video for today. Hope you guys liked it. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. I release video every day. The objective here is to get you guys information, and do give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.